We're almost live. And we're live now. Hey guys, we are live. So if you just join us, this is Russia against South Korea. And we were called last minute to stream this game as I was watching a football game, but surprised me. So we have to. And in the bench, they have a lot of players. Both teams, Russians are missing their captain, so B is in charge. And already Russians whining about the ping. There he got a little high though. One of them has 240, completely playable. And Al, Pepsi, and B are gonna be the starting lineup for Russia, and Gum Gum Jack and PMS are the starting lineup for South Korea. And we will start as soon as Russia start the game. They are the challengers. Trooper Cancerous keyboard strikes again. He's asking, "Ready, guys?" Thanks, obviously, to W for streaming last minute. And Russians can't decide who's gonna start. It's Al Pepsi and Netanyahu. Trooper is counting. The game has started. Netanyahu was moved to spectators by Roy Merchant, and B was moved. And now the game has started. Some last-second substitutions by the Russians, who are making a lot of strategy in Russian, but I can understand now. And the Koreans start with a bad defensive mistake there, and the Russians take the lead 1-0. I would say on paper the Russians are stronger, but they're missing key players and they have some ping. And I'm sure Pepsi and Alt are gonna start whining about the ping. Now Alt was given admin. A lot of admins in the Russian team. Alt was moved to red by Alt. Pepsi was moved to spec. Pepsi was moved back to red. So they changed the order now, and they're gonna try some Russian kickoff. B passes the ball to the Koreans. Oh, PMS almost with a mistake there. Gum Gum has the ball now. Counter attack. Gives a pass to PMS. Jack is flying though. Out with a trick shot. The Koreans are on offense right now. Both teams not looking too sharp so far. It's gonna be a battle of whoever does the least mistakes, it seems. I'm not sure if the Russians are warmed up, though. They were called last minute as their captain was having an emergency of some sorts and had to leave and couldn't contact them. So it was a trooper who contacted his team along with B, and well, he managed to get the Russians to show up. Otherwise, it would have been a forfeit. And Roy Merchant, the Russian, who seems to be in charge, is saying, so that's the Russian strategy right now. So Gum Gum takes a shot and hits the post as PMS in front of the net, and It takes a while to score, but scores. Now the Koreans take the lead. All takes a kickoff, but puts his team on a bad situation now. As Jack with the ball in the corner, B makes a big mistake and gives the ball to the Koreans, but PMS misses. Oh, Gong pushes out into his own net, and it's an own goal for out. B is saying Vashnietra kurva. Oh no, kurva is Polish, I'm sorry. So, oh, Bliech is the insult in Russian, so B is saying Bliech. And Jack is now in front of the net against B. B blocks him out, and Pepsi seem to be flying. And you can be sure they're a little laggy, but I think this ping is perfectly playable. Though we saw the Turkish team playing in the Korean server, so this is an American room, which is neutral for both teams. Also, the Koreans are not having their perfect ping either. It's impossible in a nation's challenge to get the neutralist room. Gum in front of the net. Pepsi gets blown away by the Koreans, and 5-1 for Korea right now. And Roy Merchant is giving so a lot of Russian strategy right now. See, those things don't seem to be working between this recently formed team who didn't warm up and have not played together, except Pepsi and Alt played together for a long time, and now the game is paused by Alt, and Roy Merchant is gonna get substituted in instead of B. B is gonna get the bench. B is gonna get the bench. And Roy Merchant standing still and typing. I don't have a clue how Roy Merchant or who he is, but let's see if he's a good player. I'll tell you in a minute. As the Koreans so far dominating, Alt bumps, double bump by Alt. Roy Merchant with the ball. Not surprising me so far. Roy Merchant is attempting to bump the keeper. Now Pepsi in front of the net. Alt is gonna score. Yes, good bumps there by Pepsi, and 6-2 for Korea right now. PMS forcing him his way in, passes to Gum, but Alt intercepts, and now Alt with another great play, but PMS is gonna come out of nowhere and saves it. Good bump there by Roy Merchant, but a very weak shot by Alt. A miss, another miss by Alt, more like a save by PMS. And now a big mistake by Gum, who tries to outforce him way, and Roy Merchant scores his first debut goal for Russia. PMS on the corner, double bombs by PMS, but Alt managed to come defensively. Oh, Jack flew by. Pepsi with an open net miss. Cannot angle himself, but Pepsi's there to save his ass. And now the Russians are coming back, as you would expect for these players, because they had a terrible start. PMS with the ball against Pepsi. Gum now is gonna steal the ball from Roy Merchant. Out comes flying and team bumps Roy Merchant. Gum takes a shot and PMS blocks it, saves it for the Russian. He's a compromat. Somebody's spamming on the Twitch. Oh, shot by Out. It's PMS and Jack block it together. Gum on the counter attack. Pepsi's gonna block it. Pepsi with the ball in the midfield. Alt is right in front of him, and the pass is gonna fail. 20 seconds to go on. Let's see if the Koreans can keep this hefty lead they had. And Gum takes an early shot. That's another shot. Oh yes, he scores. They called the ref. What the fuck? That was not inside in my screen, but maybe I'm lagging a little bit. So +3 for the Koreans. So far, Russia not looking too good for in the first period, but they showed that they can come back. They were losing by 5 goals at one point, and they came back and made it the difference shorter. And let's see if Gum is gonna keep the same lineup. So far in every game he has changed on the second period, and that's a big mistake so far. But it seems like he learned his lesson this time, and he's gonna keep the same lineup for the second period. He changed his lineup. The second period just started. They got destroyed yesterday by the Cholina team. They lost 17-4, and they were and Gum kicked two players out of his team after that. And that is another goal for the Koreans, who take a great kickoff with passes. And Russia now strike back. Sorry, my phone was ringing, and it's still +3 for Korea. Seems a more even game. Oh, Alt misses an opportunity he had as now Roy Merchant flies by, Jack in front of Pepsi. Pepsi makes a pass to Alt. PMS on defense. All of the Koreans on defense right now. Gum with the ball. Roy Merchant is gonna steal it from him. Now Jack has the ball. He's gonna wait for the bounce and takes a shot too early to shoot that. He could just wait. Oh, now it's Pepsi on the counter attack and scores. That was a big mistake by Jack, shooting too early, dude. Oh, Gum trying a trick shot on the kickoff. It sort of worked. He tricked the defense, Russians. Another early shot by Korea, but this time they were lucky on the score. Now Jack against two on defense, but his team is coming back now. Roy Merchant defending against the counterattack. Pepsi and all team up each other on the corner. Oh, PMS takes a shot, hits the post, but Jack taps it in. So it's another goal for Koreans, who are now +4. Russians are striking back now. PMS, oh, Jack doesn't save that. He could have saved that. Come on. Gum with a kickoff against Alt, who's getting outforced into his own net. And Jack doing some weird stuff with the ball as Pepsi just push him. Oh, now Jack standing still in front of the net. And Alt serves as goalkeeper for the Koreans, but now Jack makes another defensive mistake and gives the ball to Alt and scores. Now Roy Merchant against Jack. Alt is gonna intercept it on counters. It's only +2 right now for Korea. Now PMS with an opportunity, but the shot is weak and Alt saves it on the last breath. Come in front of Pepsi. All the Russians on the net right now. So they're gonna counterattack now. Jack is nowhere to be seen. Jack misses an open net and then team bumps Gum, who could have scored that. Good clear day by Jack. Gum passes to PMS, but PMS doesn't grab the ball, and Jack and Gum team bump each other a lot. I think they're rushing the ball. Jack intercepts Pepsi. So both teams not looking too sharp, but the Russians are looking better than they did in the first period. They're recovering so far from their horrid first period. And they have some substitutions available on the bench, but I'm not seeing that they might get time because it will be too risky. And same for the Koreans. I don't think there will be a substitution in the third period. PMS now with another mistake with Jack, and Pepsi scores. It's only +1 right now for Koreans, who are crumbling. PMS gonna grab the ball slowly, and he tricks Pepsi, but now Roy Merchant is sitting on the net. All the Russians on defense. Roy Merchant's gonna team bump his keeper out and gives an easy goal for Jack, who scores 2 minutes left on the second period. Roy Merchant on the counter attack now. He's gonna give the ball to the Koreans accidentally. Oh, Pepsi almost own goals. Another risky shot there by Pepsi, but Roy Merchant managed to save it. The game is paused by Alt. I'm not sure what happened. Out seemed to have lagged or something, and yeah, Alt was lagged. And they're saying some stuff. No Russians with the ball. PMS is gonna intercept it on the net. Roy Merchant attempts a trick shot. Oh, Gamgam misses the ball. The X. Risky situation now for the Koreans, who are not very good defensively. They bunch on the net and they don't make bumps clear. So if someone goes flying into the net of the Koreans, it's gonna be a goal. Oh, Pepsi takes a shot on his own teammate. Jack is gonna pass to PMS and he's only against Roy Merchant, but PMS misses and Gum stops it in. So now it's both Russians go at the bump and no one takes the ball. Big mistake by PMS. He should have waited and gave the ball to Alt, and Alt scored on a rocket shot from midfield. Not very good defensively. Neither of the teams are doing good defensively, but in particular, the Koreans are very shaky on defense when another big stake on defense by the Koreans is Alt scores another one, and the Russians are pulling a comeback, and the Koreans are not able to control the game as it's escaping from them. The Russians are looking better now. They discover the weakness of the Koreans. The Koreans are still winning by one though. So yeah, the score right now is 11-12, and Korea is winning. The same lineups are gonna be kept as there's some Russian commentary. There's some Russian strategy and Korean strategy going on in the chat. A lot of symbols, unreadable symbols, and gibberish. I'm gonna try to read it now. So for Russia, we have Roy Merchant saying Bliech, and also saying Bliech. Bliech was gadrywuś nimo. Was gadrywuś butu korba, vinimo zagiżniewozu. Gom is instructing his team to Hakasu kuturhakata hakutukumaita. So you have the strategy, make yourself out of that. Whatever you've understood, that's what's gonna happen in this game. And the third period is and it's gonna start soon, but a lot of symbols of gibberish going on in the chat. I cannot even read that name, but it's like person, symbol, person. And he's saying a lot of stuff, probably asking for game time because he's on the bench. Also, Netanyahu is on the bench for Russia and B as well. Now, Roy Merchant with a big wall of text. And the game is gonna start. Countdown is underway and Russia on the kickoff. Al takes the kickoff. Roy Merchant seems to have lagged out. He comes back flying. Jack in front of the net is gonna pass to Gum. They just need to clear and it's a goal, and that's what's gonna happen. Roy Merchant comes flying again. Jack is waiting, and yeah, Roy Merchant looking laggy right now. They should just pass, and he's whining about the ping. He's saying a number, so that's his ping. So just bench him, dudes, and keep playing. They have alternatives on the bench, and Korea is +2 right now. But Roy Merchant was clearly flying on the first 30 seconds of the last period. They cannot risk having a laggy player, and they should just bench him and put V or Netanyahu in. Oh jeez, the chat is full of gibberish right now. It's pure gibberish. Yeah, I cannot even tell you guys what's going on because I have no clue. It's like a battle between Chinese. I'm sorry, not Chinese. That's offensive. So it's a battle between alien symbols and Martian symbols. But now Russians take the kickoff. And Roy Merchant is looking laggy though. I should just pause. And Korea's gonna take another goal and just bench Roy Merchant. He's clearly lagging, and another lag by Roy Merchant. You can just see him flying out of the field now. And the Russians have several admins, and Roy Merchant just flew by again. And for some reason, Alt and Pepsi and Roy Merchant himself, who have admin, are not doing anything about it. And they have two Russian players on the bench. Roy Merchant takes another flyby, a recognition flight. Jack in front of the net against Pepsi, and Alt is gonna on goal. And Netanyahu is gonna make his debut on the first period as Trooper just was forced to move Roy Merchant because the other players are not doing anything about it. And yeah, more symbols, gibberish from the Russian side. Netanyahu, let's see how he does. We could see a comeback or a very weak player. I think I've seen his name on the public room, but if he's a public player never been in a competition, it's gonna be a hard debut for him, debuting on a loss on the third period against decent players, these Koreans who made no substitution. And Netanyahu, his first intervention, steals the ball from Jack. Now Pepsi and all not looking sharp at all. PMS passes to Jack. Jack misses the X, and now he's gonna team bump Gum as he always does. But PMS takes the ball and scores. Netanyahu not looking good. And Roy Merchants is just whining on the chat. Obviously, it's probably ping related, but if you cannot play with this ping, you shouldn't participate. I think it's a normal ping. Jack takes a shot, and the Russians are completely out of the field, not doing anything at all. You can tell it's playable because they already played, and Turkey played with 300 ping and beat Korea, and it's just they're just not. I think they're not trying anymore. The Russians seem to have given up mentally. You don't eat 6 goals in 2 minutes if you're just. You can tell they're typing. I'll just lost the ball again, and Jack 7-0 on the third period as Russia are getting destroyed. Gum is gonna pause and make a substitution. Gonna give time to his bench. It's a good option now that he's got the game under control. Hopefully, it doesn't backfire though, because just as Russia got destroyed in the last period, one player can make the difference if he's bad. But I don't think this guy is bad. I've seen him in the Korean room, and well, he just got bumped out of the way. PMS on defense against three, and now it's 7-1. Shout out to Brazil, Germany, and yeah, the Korean is now typing some gibberish on the chat. This seems to have given some hope to the Russians, the substitution, as they're just now actually trying. So Kuraimasa, I'm gonna call Kuraimasa, but because I cannot read his symbol name. Oh, Jack with a great save on the net against Pepsi, and now trick shots and out, almost on goals, trying to control the ball. PMS takes a strong shot. Jack passes to Kuraimasa, and Kuraimasa scores his first goal on the cup. And 8-1 on the third period for a total of yeah, it's +8 right now for Korea, as Russia got destroyed in the last period. In the first minute, they ate 6 goals, so that was unimpressive performance by Russia. Netanyahu so far not looking terrible, but they did eat 6 goals, so he must be having some issues. Pepsi and all, terrible performance as well, and hopefully it doesn't reflect on their game tonight for the 4-on-4 Cup, because if they play like this, they're also gonna get destroyed. Now Jack waiting against PMS, clears Pepsi, and Alt clears himself, and Gomgom is gonna pause and give another of his bench players 50 seconds of the remaining period, as Korea is gonna take this win easily. Was a was an even game, and now Alt takes a goal as the Koreans just bump each other on the defense. A lot of symbols going on in the chat right now. Very weak defense by the Russians, as Pepsi is completely flying, and Alt as well. The terrible performance by Alt and Pepsi, who are usually not terrible players. I wouldn't say. I mean, Alt in particular is a good player. They're obviously missing their captain Kitsune, who's in my opinion, one of the best players in the game, and they also miss Levski, who's also one of the, if not the strongest Russian player, along with Kitsune. So yeah, Korea is gonna take this win. I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some reactions about the ping. I will give you the total in a moment. So many goals. 21 for Korea. 21-13. So Korea are gonna take 50 points, and Russia are gonna lose 50 points. And yeah, this game is over. I think we don't have any more nations tonight, but we have several 4-on-4 games. Not sure which ones will be streamed, if at all, but we will see you later. Bye bye.